Yep.
The Adventures of Pip. TicToc games. How about some exposition? Oh, you don't want exposition? You're getting it anyway. Deal with it. Okay, fine, I'll read it out in a voice that isn't my own. Like other kingdoms, those who had more pixels lived in luxury. The rest lived humble lives. Legend has it, the kingdom was once saved by a princess who created pixels from nothingness. There's a never-ending story tie-in here, I just know it. One day, Princess Adeline was born with such an ability. This brought joy, but also worry. For in the darkness lived Queen Derezia, who wanted to harness such power. She also liked having pits with skeletons in them, of people who used to be alive. On Adeline's 16th birthday, Queen Derezia attacked and absorbed all the pixels. That's something she murdered a lot of people. Okay, Queen Derezia kidnapped the princess as all watched helplessly in terror, except one. His name was Pip. Born a single pixel, he had nothing to fear. This is where our story begins. That kind of cut off abruptly. I thought the guy who edits this thing. Alright, so Queen Derezia, she taunts you and, you know, the usual. Clearly, Adventures of Pip has a 16-bit look going forward, which is all the rage right now with the people. The game also has a sense of humor, as you'll see, and there definitely is some sort of a class-based issue amongst people who appear to be in 16 bits as opposed to those who are in 8, let alone one single pixel. So here's how the gameplay functions. Sometimes Pip is a single pixel. These little glowing blue things, they're all over the place. You hit them, stomp on them, whatever, and you absorb their pixels. Sometimes you get hit by them. So the 8-bit looking Pip can cut vines and jump and clean the walls, whereas the 16-bit looking Pip is heavier and has a sword and can break these blocks, which will come in handy because you have to break blocks. So part of the game is just an ongoing puzzle between figuring out how to maneuver through the environment by having the right level of detail, if you will. Holding down the red button, or the B button, allows you to explode and sort of depixelize into a, I don't want to say lesser, because that plays into what the game is trying to teach us, but a lower resolution. Is that bad? I don't want to offend anyone. Anyway, the pixel density kind of works as density in the game, whereas when you're a single pixel, you're very light, so those little trampoline mushrooms will bounce you up higher. When you're 8-bit, they bounce you up a little bit high, and then when you're 16, you just crush them entirely because you're just too heavy, you have too many pixels. So each form definitely has its own advantages. Also, each stage you are tasked with rescuing one of, well, 3 villagers who are lost in the levels. The first world, they're pretty easy to find, but as it goes on, they get pretty difficult. I like that, though. That created some fun. I like finding them all. Some, like I said, some stages are easier than others. Sometimes you'll see them and have no clue how to get to them at all, which may mean you have to go back and maybe buy something, buy an item, or just get better at the game. So as you continue, all the merchants in the town won't be available, but you can rescue them and they'll open up shop immediately, which is the first thing you do after you've been rescued from some harrowing experience to start a business. But whatever. Apples replenish hearts. See, the 8-bit Pip can't do anything with blocks, but the 16-bit Pip is stronger and can push and pull them. There is an item that does kind of even make the 8 and 16-bit Pip a little more similar, but you don't have to get it. I found that it helped, and I've already said too much. Like I said, those little blue glowing bug things are all over the place, and there's plenty of little secrets and hidden walls and things, and villagers that need a good rescuing. and they just disappear. So I'm assuming that they're alive. They are. And if you time things right, you can avoid things like spikes. You notice the single pixel is light enough to crawl on the back of this sort of 4-foot golem-like creature without being noticed, whereas the 8 and 16-bit would just be too heavy. 16-bit character really can't jump that well, but if you're jumping on an enemy, that gives you a little bit of a boost, but you definitely want to do the wall clinging and jumping with the, the 8-bit character. It's much more adept. But that sword, though, and that's some range on it. You're going to need that sword. So you will constantly kind of need to be de-resing and up-resing in order to get through the game. And there's that patented sense of humor. Resist. Yeah. So all in all, I had fun with Adventures of Pip. I played it in many versions along the way. Yeah, I like the level varieties. I think they're pretty good. I guess one of my complaints might be that there's 8 levels per world. And to be honest, that might be, I don't know. I mean, you don't want a game that's like 20 minutes long, but that might be a bit too much. I kind of wish maybe they would have had like the lava world, the forest world, the ice world, or whatever within, like, I guess mixed up the different environments within the one world, which I guess would make sense, because if you're in the lava world, all the levels should be lava. It's just because there were 8 of them, and I'm terrible at games, so I died so many times in some sections because sometimes I couldn't figure out what to do. Other times, just the platform. Like sometimes you have to like dodge something, de-res, hit one of those blue creatures, up-res, break a wall with bricks. Sometimes there's some sequences that are pretty rough. They get kind of crazy. But I don't know. I dug Adventures of Pip. I think it's a worthy addition to your Steam collection. I know it's coming to the Wii U. It's also coming to I'm drawing a blank here. It's coming to PS4 and the Xbox One as well. I dug it. It's fun. It's definitely a fun game. And here, as you can see, I have a couple of reviews I did for. One is for Spy Chameleon on Xbox One. Spy Chameleon is a pretty fun game. And Fruit Ninja Connect 2. So if you like Connect games and slashing fruit, you might want to think about that. If you like camouflage, you're into camouflage, Spy Chameleon might be something that you'd enjoy. So yeah, just think about it. Go ahead and like, subscribe, leave a comment. I don't get many, so if you leave one, if it's a question or inquiry, I will definitely get back to you because I don't get that many. So no excuse not to respond. All right, I'll check out the site and click on the GameEnthus logo there. Check out the site. There's a podcast there and more videos and stuff. That's it. Go home.